This animal has no brain, no heart, and no bones. It is 95% water, and one of them might be able to live forever. This is the jellyfish, the strange, beautiful, and alien-like drifter of our oceans. They seem so simple, just a floating blob with some dangly bits. But they are hiding some of the most bizarre and incredible secrets in the entire animal kingdom. I'm going to show you how their stingers are actually microscopic harpoons, and tell you the unbelievable true story of the one jellyfish that has figured out how to cheat death. First, let's appreciate just how weird a jellyfish is. As I said, they have no brain. They just have a simple nerve net that allows them to react to things like touch and light. They have no heart and no blood. They just absorb oxygen from the water right through their super thin skin. And they are ancient. Jellyfish have been pulsing through the oceans for at least 500 million years. That means they were around more than 250 million years before the first dinosaurs. They are true survivors. And their main survival tool is, of course, their sting. Their long, beautiful tentacles are covered in millions of microscopic stinging cells called nematocysts. And each one is a tiny, perfect, biological weapon. Think of it like a little capsule with a coiled up, venomous harpoon inside, and a tiny little hair trigger on the outside. When a fish or your leg brushes against that trigger, the lid on the capsule pops open, and the harpoon explodes outwards with incredible force and speed. It is one of the fastest movements in all of nature. It punches into the victim's skin and injects its venom. That's what a jellyfish sting is. You've been shot by millions of tiny, venomous harpoons. So they are these simple, ancient, floating blobs with poison harpoons. They drift through life, they get old, and eventually they die, just like everything else, right? Well, not all of them. This brings us to one of the most mind-blowing creatures on the planet, a tiny species called Turritopsis dohrnii, better known as the immortal jellyfish. This thing is tiny, only about the size of your pinky nail. And it has a life cycle hack that seems to break the laws of biology. A normal jellyfish starts its life as a little baby, called a polyp, that lives attached to the seafloor. This polyp will eventually bud off a swimming adult jellyfish, called a medusa. This medusa will grow up, reproduce, get old, and then die. That's the normal circle of life. But the immortal jellyfish has a secret escape hatch. If the adult immortal jellyfish gets old, gets physically injured, or is starving, it can hit the biological reset button. It will sink down to the ocean floor, its bell and tentacles will be reabsorbed, and its body will transform back into a little blob of cells. And all of those adult cells will actually change, turning back into the young cells of a new polyp. From this new polyp, a brand new, genetically identical adult jellyfish will eventually grow. Think about what that means. It's not just healing itself, it is literally reversing its own aging process and starting its life over again from the beginning. This process is called transdifferentiation, where a specialized adult cell can turn back into a different kind of cell. It's a biological superpower that scientists are just beginning to understand. So, unless the immortal jellyfish gets eaten by a predator or gets a disease that kills it, this cycle of growing up, growing old, and then turning back into a baby could, theoretically, go on forever. It is the only known animal on Earth that is biologically immortal. It has found a loophole in the fundamental rule of life that says you have to get old and die. So, the jellyfish is a true alien of our world. It's an ancient, brainless, and heartless survivor that is made almost entirely of water. Its beautiful tentacles are armed with millions of tiny, explosive harpoons. And one very special, very tiny species has actually figured out how to cheat death by transforming from an adult back into a baby, giving it the potential to live forever. If you want your mind blown by more of nature's most impossible creatures, make sure you subscribe.